finally, we also have a representative from ACSED, Association of California State Employees with Disabilities, Dan Clark, who is the past president of ACSED. And Dan, do you have anything to share with us, with our audience?
Well, actually, I do. I really, I'm sitting here listening to all this, what's going on, and particularly this presentation today with Corey and Cal HR, and also the other individuals that were speaking, but more so about, for those that are new, maybe to what we're doing here and what ACSED is. ACSED is a nonprofit organization made up of members of state employees with disabilities, and it was, established back in 1976 to address systemic issues that become barriers for people to get employed in state service, and not the barriers for hiring, it's promotion and retention. And so over the years, we've been trying to address issues to do this. And actually, I'm sitting back today looking at this, and we talked about two key bills, 1195 and 313 today, and there's been others in the past, which I look at that ACSED has been, I want to toot our horn, I think ACSED has been around to help and support those programs. A lot of the issues here have been seen out been recognized out in the general population of state employees of issues, and these issues that sort of culminated about these barriers, trying to get better access to relief, opening up programs to help support people to go to work like Cal HR. A lot of these programs, it seems like they're coming together, but more particularly, I think 313 and 1195 have been stuff that we kind of identified in our special projects. In 2015, there was the special progress program that we put together was with Cal HR, State Personnel Board, Department of Rehab, where we reviewed these elements and we had recommendations. And if you go back and look at that, what we've been talking about today are addressing a lot of that. So I'm sitting back looking at this and I'm saying, hey, we were talking the other day that when you're in the trenches trying to get change, it's like, when it's going to happen, what's going to happen, and so forth. But you work on it and you start to see the support systems, the systemic barriers getting removed, and support systems and programs coming on to help that. And today was a reflection of that. I'm kind of proud of ACSED and all the work they've done to do that. And then my hands off to the legislative committee and other members of ACSED that have done that. It's gratifying to see what we're still accomplishing. We have more to do, but again, I guess it underscores the area that, all of you out there, as you see things that are systemic and you need to get change, and some of them are not, if they're in your department, you can kind of work in your department. But if there's something that is sort of generalized, that you see it in this department, that department, this department, and become across the board barrier in state employment, let us know about them, because then we can start to look and try to address them, maybe bring the people together. Since we're a private nonprofit, we're outside of state government, but we're all members. I'm a retired state employee of 35 years. So, we all been through the system. So, but we're trying to work to help change the system, and we can start to look at address and go to legislatures, we can go to department heads and so forth, and try to address these issues. And I'm seeing some of the things we've been seeing being addressed today. So I'm really proud of the work that's been done. So anyway, it's nice to see. And I also want to thank all the awardees that got their awards last week. Some of it is a reflection of, again, we talked about a couple of them, we have two awards. We have the DAC of the Year awards, which really look at the DACs and want to recognize the work they're doing and achieving, so forth. But the intent of the DAC is to try to achieve, like you say, parity a culture of environment that's just working, that helps promote people with disabilities and representation. And we had a couple of departments that won just on the fact that they're not a DAC award. They got the ACES award, which is sort of the reflection of looking at your key data of who of hiring, promotion, retention of people with disabilities on their own. So they've sort of developed this culture, if you will, within their department that supports it and brings us up to that level. So we're all kind of working toward that. So I don't know, it's more of a reflection for me today to look back at what's being achieved and where we've come from. And again, so I thank you for all your support and your involvement. So thanks.
Thank you, Dan. With that note, this program, it's coming to a close. Thank you very much for everyone in participating in SDAC throughout this year. And we look forward to bringing some additional resources to you next year. And happy holidays to you, and be kind to each other. We'll see you next year. Goodbye.